believe it or not, we've come to the end, almost, of the Future Minerals Forum 2025. Goodness, has it been a busy 2 days? We've had discussions, we've had conversations, we've had deliberations, we've had connections, we've shared knowledge in the knowledge exchange forums. We've had a look at policy and how we think about policy for doing business in the context of the ministerial roundtable. Of course, we've had conversations here in the plenary and in all the other spaces, and fundamentally we've made connections. And I think that's really, really crucial when we start thinking about what we want to do in this industry and how we move forward. You'll remember on day one, I highlighted the fact that this year it was about looking at delivering impact, not just whether it has or hasn't been done, but perhaps more importantly, how one can ensure that this industry does deliver on the impact it has committed to doing and will continue to do so. My name is Dumi Makhabo, and I have to say, it is always an utmost and maybe even extreme pleasure for me to be here. I'm always amazed that you guys still let me come back in the building, so thank you very much. I appreciate and love that. In the country as well, too. I was like, maybe I annoyed some people at the plenary last year and they won't let me back, so thanks for letting me back in spite of all of those things. I hope certainly the past 2 days have been stimulating for you, have given you many ideas, have given you a good sense of how you can participate in the future that we would like to build, not just for this industry, but indeed for humanity as a whole. I know when we sometimes speak about humanity, it sounds a little bit ethereal and it sounds a little bit like it's an idea that sits somewhere above our heads. But in reality, it's what we're living, right? If we think about 10 years ago, whether we thought we would be having conversations like this here in Riyadh, I think many people would say no, but here we are. So we don't necessarily know what the next 10 years is going to look like, but I think it's exciting to know that this industry will continue to play a crucial and critical role in our future. I don't know who this person is that's standing next to me. He's just walked up to you.
I'll come over this side.
Yeah, that's much better. I think you look like David. Good to have you joining me, David.
Yeah,
welcome.
I'm just interested also.
Yeah.
You've just heard a discussion about, communicating a reputation, brand management, that sort of thing. Are we over-optimistic to think that we can change a view, a global view about what mining is? Because it's not a great view.
It's not a great view, but I think with so many, as is the case with so many things, part of fixing the problem is acknowledging there is a problem in the first place. The second thing is to say, okay, if there is the problem, what are the components of that problem? And I think in this discussion, you did exactly that. You were identifying the various aspects. It's not one thing that's going to solve the problem. It's a multiplicity of things that's going to solve the problem. So I think it's not over-optimistic, but I think as with many things, when one is trying to change a behavior, when one is trying to change a perspective, it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. And yes, you're welcome to borrow my influencer narrative. I will let you use it.
Thank you. Thank you. I wasn't going to actually attribute it to you. I thought it was a very fair point to make.
Yeah.
I've got to say, obviously I was doing my preparation for this forum, as I did for the last. I looked out for podcasts, for example, to get a better grasp on some of these things. Every podcast is for geeks.
Yeah.
It's all for those who love this aspect of mining and minerals. And I think that's where everyone is missing a trick. I think there's a way of mainstreaming this, which hasn't yet really perhaps been grasped.
I think so, and I think the point that was made was that it's not necessarily on the media side or the platform side to fix the issue. I think this industry has to look inward and say, how exactly do we change our narrative? How do we engage people whom we may not ordinarily have engaged to come and, one, help us in that narrative, but I think, two, also ensure that what we do translates in a way that is meaningful. The reality of the matter is that in most mining spaces, most of the people in the room are not 25-year-olds. They are a little bit older than that. So it does have an impact on how you do things. So if you get younger people in the room and you get them involved, I think that can change the way you think about it. I don't know what you think. I mean, David, do you think that it is something that one can do with that kind of deliberation?
I think you've got to get on and do it. Whatever the immediate effect of that is, I think you've got to get on and start trying to scratch the surface of resistance, if you like, to have a chance to do it. What I found refreshing at the forum here, and I'm just looking down at Mark Bristow here, it's a readiness to speak out about the problems that this sector faces, you know, and to tell others we've got to acknowledge it, deal with it, and don't hide behind it. Yeah. And I think that's the other problem, you know, that you see, it's human instinct. You see a problem, you really don't want to have to deal with it. Yeah. And I think it really is a good time to change that and to say, no, let's grasp the nettle and let's try to make a difference where we really need to. Not just in terms of reputation and communication, but in actual practical practice.
I do agree with you, and I don't know whether your narrative is going to be similar to mine, but I know when I first came to this event, my view and my understanding on how this industry functioned was very, very different, and it has subsequently changed where I feel more enthused about it. Your year, first time, was last year. Yeah. How do you see it now?
I think what's changing with my own sort of perspective is that there is a very clear reality that this is absolutely critical to our future. And every year that goes by, more and more people are getting that message. So then it really is, it's not quite an open goal, but it is an opportunity to say, you know, we're helping you. We're doing something. We are the start of the journey to saving a planet, if I could be really melodramatic about it. And I don't know that message either is getting out yet.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so yet, but I don't think there's anybody in the room who's going to acknowledge otherwise. So a lot of work to be done, but I'm encouraged by the fact that there is a reality check that says the work can be done, will be done, and this is how we intend to do it.
And I think, sorry, I was just going to add, I think it's a fact, and I've had to recognize this, seen this. There are doers in this world of the mineral sector. We're in an area of action, and you feel it here. And I think that's really important. And I've heard a lot of people say, we need leadership now. And someone's got to seize that and become the leaders and help to drive that, the momentum.
His name is David Eads. My name is Dumi Makhabo. This has been quite an extraordinary year of the Future Minerals Forum. 24,000 registrations. You'll recall that only 4 years ago it was 3,500 registrations. Those who can do the numbers can tell us what the exponential is on that initial figure, because I don't know how to work it out, but I can tell others all about it later. We have had an incredible 3 days, including the ministerial roundtable, expositions, expos, information. So let's have a quick look at exactly some of the highlights of the past 3 days.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, welcome to Riyadh and to the 4th edition of the Future Minerals Forum Ministerial Roundtable.
This roundtable is a unique platform, a space where we come together to address challenges and craft actionable solutions.
At this event, it is a very important one, and I recognise your leadership in bringing us all together.
The theme of this year's Future Minerals Forum is the year of impact.
Advancing global discussions.
To be able to get connectivity, circularity, and traceability.
To harmonize the existing standards of responsible mining.
Midstream and upstream processing as being imperative.
Would be a fair, just revolution, and that we can ensure prosperity for all.
It's lovely to see how this event is growing and how it's getting more serious and more focused on what we're trying to deliver.
Thank you very much, and I wish you a fruitful and successful meeting.
We are not simply a conference. We are not just an exhibition. The Future Minerals Forum is a cause.
We are bringing together supplier nations to create a powerful global minerals impact.
Sustainability has, of course, become a key question.
Capital allocation, financial discipline are essential. They're foundational.
Our space, I think, there's a lot of cooperation that needs to happen between countries and companies.
As we're working with countries around the world, that we need to really offer a better value proposition.
But we need the capital. We have to show the returns for it. We need to make sure that we're long-term.
Good, strong fiscal policy, good, strong political stability.
Without really adequate data, you cannot develop any sector.
Do you think we're going to head towards more competition?
É fundamental a competição é natural.
There is something we need to do in mining, which is innovation.
Saudi Arabia is determined to produce every ounce, every gram, every molecule, every atom, every electron of our resources. And you are welcome to join us.
The key under Vision 2030 has been diversification.
This forum, just from being part of these conversations, is doing a huge amount in order to raise that profile.
Today I can confirm the results showing high-grade gold mineralization at 220 meters below Mansourah Massarah.
Alongside Ma'aden, we can become a major transition mineral producer on the world stage.
We are working with our partners Saudi Aramco and PAF to build a multi-billion.
Focusing on a flat product, value-added product, special steel.
Saudi Arabia, that we already have a very strong infrastructure to support the mining industry.
We need this forum to get people's feet back on the ground and discuss what we need to do.
Sustainable energy, sustainable minerals.
Everybody's trying our best to make it as green as possible, step by step.
The future of minerals in Saudi Arabia is bright, and we are excited to collaborate with all of you and unlock its full potential and create a sustainable legacy for generations to come.
And thank you for being part of the Future Mineral Forum family.